I'm a genius, and this isn't difficult. This is actually the opposite of difficult. It's finding simplicity in difficult things. Now, maybe be it naive, I only have what's on the news, and there's obviously a much greater complicated situation going on. But the genius of the situation that I'd like to look at and make things maybe absurdly simple, however, though maybe they're absurdly getting complicated. Excessive chronology, like it's going to be borders, it's going to be this, and then soon it's going to be oil supplies, and it's going to get very nitty and gritty. But anyway, the genius of the situation that maybe people might be trying to avoid because it's too simple all the time. It's always very simple. Do I want to say? I don't even understand this. Excuse me, Ukraine, if I am in any way ignorant or not understand this. Okay, so you have like fatherlands and motherlands, and you have Russia, and Russia's like your dad and his uncle, and they buy like things that kids shouldn't know about. And Ukraine looks like to me like a mummy, and all her kids who are willing to pick up wooden guns and say she wants to take her kids off and do something with their lives, and she doesn't want her kids around. What Daddy kind of does and stuff. Daddy really loves the kids and treats his kids just like his own, and wants what's best for the mother as well. Wouldn't mind motherly independence. Would always protect them. But see, NATO are just like social services. What I'm saying, they're just exploiting this advantage or a point to get in at daddy and uncle or something, and they're just no one likes social services really. They claim to be doing a good job, and they're just really getting in there between families and ways. But they're all baptized in one river, as far as I'm aware, or one heater bead that is used in Russia or something, and they're all because they share this orthodoxy connection. Now I have no idea how complex it is, but I'm sure it's beyond me. Between Belarus and Crimea and my names are what has been happening at the moment in the world. But the simplicity of it is that and Daddy's not going to go invade is a terrible word. They keep saying invade. And harm mommy and kids or Ukraine and the children of Ukraine. No, that doesn't make sense. And Daddy's willing to pay protection, so he shouldn't need so much social service there. Basically, social services are just exploiting situations. I'm saying, Ukraine mightn't want to, as the motherly kind of thing, buy back into Daddy and say, "Oh, fine, you can protect us," because she'll defend her kid. Mommy's tougher than Daddy, even. You know what I mean? That's the thing about it. That's why Ukraine are saying like, "Mom really is kind of has this badass thing, and Mama, you won't be, It's all a little bit backwards because I think Ukraine might be a fatherland or something. But anyway, it's just an analogy that's working. So, Daddy's cool. Mommy, I'd imagine, just wants what's best for her and the kids, and doesn't want to see the kids doing military drills. It's the weird thing about Ukraine, actually, because he wanted to get them away from things probably like Russian daddiness and stuff like that, and you got them running military drills. They just want you buying NATO weapons in the future or something like that, they're treating you like a doormat, they don't care. NATO don't care, and Russia does care a lot more for your children and for Ukraine than NATO will ever care for your children, sincerely. They're training them to buy NATO weapons, really, aren't they? To work with it now, so Ukraine's massive, and it's fully entitled to, I imagine, independence and absolute self-dignity and stuff, and it's a weird thing that we're even fighting over defence. What the fuck is NATO defence or even Russian defence in these days? I thought we were so far beyond it. We now have like a big war room with nukes, just end game, and that was the end of it all, or I don't know. So yeah, just a simple little analogy of family, Daddy will only be caring for these kids, and Mommy, essentially, and definitely doesn't want to harm them. Social services, or I don't know, NATO just are exploiting the predicament, really, and that's the way I've seen it. And nobody wants to get involved in, because then social services are the good guys, and they'll drag lots of other people into it, and keeping things short and sweet. Something a simple little genius, simple, it's essential. It's so before things get extremely complicated. They won't want to harm anyone when they invade. And it's a weird thing then to pack out Ukraine with lots of foreign military who they might not care for. So why would you even put them there? And these have all got families back at home. And these are all avoiding apocalypse. And nobody's keeping the white clean on the floors. And it is apocalyptic because these were all baptized in one river, as far I'm aware, so it's really dodgy to be shouting Ukraine in the face of Russia, 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 Ukraine, Ukraine, Ukraine. You know, obviously other people want to, like their dad, want to, like, you know, go back and stay with dad even if he is a bit of a drunkard.